All right. Thank you so much for joining me here today on the Red Pill Investor, here to help you get your sales skills on. If you're joining me live here on YouTube, welcome to Sell More Homes Now. In this particular channel, we spend a lot of time talking about real estate investing, real estate prospecting, lead generation, the techniques, the things you need to learn in order to be powerful as a prospector. And today, what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and spend a little bit of time doing some just listed, just sold type of calls. If you're a real estate agent, then you can immediately recognize that this is not exactly one of the more fun aspects of this job, but this is a good thing to do if you have a listing to go ahead and help promote it. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and use the TheRedX dialer along with Vortex, their dialer, their system, to go ahead and we've already geo-mapped out the closest 50 properties to the home that I have currently listed. We're going to go ahead and call those people, and we're going to go ahead and see if maybe we can find any leads. Now, the purpose of this, as you may or may not know, if you're a real estate agent, it's certainly a good idea to make these just listed, just sold calls. Certainly a good idea to knock on the door. You want to contact these people because many times when they see your sign, it's not uncommon. You know, people will drive up and down the road and they'll see your property and they'll say, well, gosh, you know, they're asking that for that. Oh my gosh. You know, our home, it's got the, and their home doesn't even have the 2x6 construction, right? I mean, they start comparing their home to the property that is currently on the market. And then they start making descriptions about what they feel their home is worth. They start thinking about what their property might sell for, and then they start watching, right? That's the next step. They start watching to see what the home does on the market. That way they can decide if this is a good idea for them to put their property on the market or if they should go ahead and wait. So what we're going to do in the purpose of this call is to go ahead and contact these people, see if any of those people are in fact interested in selling the property. Or if they happen to know of anybody who would be interested in the property. I mean, many times what you'll find is that they'll have a friend or a neighbor or somebody at work, you know, that's got a kid or whatever that's wanting to live in the area. And this gives you an opportunity to go ahead and double dip it, if you will. Also, for your homeowner, this demonstrates that you're out there in the market right now trying to find a buyer for them actively. Remember, a lot of agents don't do much of anything. And so when you're trying to at least go out and do something, that's vastly better than what your competition is doing. So that's the purpose of today's call. Plus, we're going to talk about the three ways that you get business in your life. And then we're going to talk about the pros and the cons of that. That way you can go ahead and decide which way is the best way for you and your family. So let's go ahead and begin this day, as we always do, by taking it to the Lord in prayer. Lord, thank you so much for this day. Thank you for our health. Thank you for our families, Lord. Well, Lord, we just ask that we know that many of our families are traveling this time of year, kids going different places. Lord, I just ask that you'd watch over them and give them traveling mercies so that our family members will be safe. Lord, I'd ask that you'd help us to learn something today that would be helpful to our customers and our clients. Help us to go ahead and bring something of value to the market, Lord, that we would separate ourselves by being helpful, by being kind and gracious, as well as effective. Lord, we ask all these things in Jesus' name. Amen. Okay, so let's press start. Boom. So again, we're just dialing the top 50 properties around this property that I just recently listed. Okay, it's about 8:30 in the morning. It's on Thursday. I'm a little bit later than I ordinarily would like to be. However, I had a few things I had to do this morning, so I was running a little bit behind. So basically, the Vortex dialer, the geo system, the geolocation system, is very simple to really operate within the TheRedX. If you've considered using the TheRedX, I would certainly recommend you go ahead and use the link in the description box there, you'll be able to go ahead and save $149 on your setup fee if you decide to go ahead and use their services. And if you do, which I recommend, it's certainly a good idea. This service right here is very good if you're a real estate agent, because you're able to do a lot of just listed, just sold calls.
Please leave your message for.
You're able to leave a. I'm sorry. You're able to go ahead and pinpoint very specific areas. You're able to distinguish properties that have been owned for longer than a specific period of time. So, for example, if you want to call the closest 50 properties that have been owned for more than 5 years, which is what we're happen to be calling, right? Then you can distinguish.
Hello?
Hi, this is Carl Krenzel. How are you today?
I'm fine. Who is this?
Oh, I'm so sorry. My mouth got away from the microphone there. I apologize. My name's Carl Krenzel. I just listed a property for sale down the way from you at 254 East Shorecliff. It has it actually has 4 bedrooms and 3 baths. We've listed it at $280,000. And I was just wondering, who do you know who'd like to move into the area? Anybody?
Oh, no, we don't. But thank you so
Oh,
much.
no problem. I appreciate you.
You.
Yeah, I appreciate you thinking about it.
Bye-bye.
I'm curious. Have you ever thought about selling? Okay, hang on. Boom. All right. All right. So, boom, boom, boom. Okay, there we go. This gives you the ability to call these people based on a time period. And that's...
No.
Hi, this is Carl Krenzel. How are you? Is this Wayne?
Hello.
Hi, is this Wayne?
Hello.
Hi, my name is Carl. I was looking for Wayne. Is this Wayne?
What about it?
Oh, okay. Hi, Wayne. My name's Carl Krenzel. I'm with Sotheby's International Realty. I just listed a home for sale down the street from you over there at 254 East Shorecliff. It has 4 bedrooms and 3 baths. It's at 1,879 square feet. And I'm asking, they're asking $280,000 for it. I was just calling to see if you happen to know of anybody who'd be interested in buying it. Do you know anybody?
No.
No problem. Yeah, it's kind of a crazy question first thing in the morning. That's no problem. I'm curious, have you folks considered selling your... Okay. Take that as a no. Boom. All right. Resume. Okay, here we go. All right. Don't get discouraged. That's a key piece of advice I can give you here. Don't get discouraged. Why do I say not to get discouraged? You know, especially in the face of you calling people and strangers and they're hanging up on you really quickly. How do I say don't get discouraged? It's very easy. I'll tell you why. It's very easy because I know after 23 years of doing this, right, that my coach, Mike Ferry, was 100% right when he said there are 3 ways that you can get business in this life. 3 ways. I'm going to share them with you. I'm going to probably not do as good a justice as Mike would, but you know, there's really 3 ways that you can do business in life, right? Doesn't matter what kind of business in. It doesn't matter if you're a realtor, a wholesaler. Hi, this is Carl Krenzel. How are you?
Hello.
Hi, my name is Carl. I was looking for Walter. Is this Walter?
Speaking.
Oh, hi, Walter. This is Carl Krenzel. I'm with Sotheby's International. I just listed a home for sale not far from you at 254 East Shorecliff. Yes, sir. And it's a 4-bedroom, 3-bath place with 1,879 square feet. And I was just calling to see if you happen to, we've got it listed at $280,000. I was just calling to see if you happen to know of anybody who'd be interested in buying that property. Do you know anybody who's planning on moving in the area?
Oh, I don't. I can't help you there. Sorry.
Oh, that's okay. No worries. It is kind of a crazy question anyway. So I'm curious, about how long have you folks owned that place on Shorecliff?
I've been here since '09.
Oh my goodness. Wow. I bet you've seen a couple changes then, huh?
Yeah.
Holy cow. Well, I'm curious, Walter, if you were to move, where do you think you'd go next?
Somewhere here in Oro Valley. I haven't really thought about it that much.
Okay, no problem.
Somewhere here in Oro Valley.
And when do you think that might be?
Probably when they carry me out of here.
Well, let's hope that's a long time away. Well, listen,
we hope that's for a couple of years anyway. Yeah, I'm happy here right now.
It's a beautiful neighborhood.
Your call.
Yes, sir. You have a great day. Thank you.
Thank you.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. All right, let's see here. All right. Not interested. All right. There we go. So there's 3 ways that you can get business. It doesn't matter if you're a realtor, an investor, doesn't matter if you're I'm just trying to think, maybe of an entrepreneur of any kind. Doesn't sell widgets, right? I mean, whatever you're selling. Okay. You can either buy business or you can wait for business to come to you, or you can go find it every single day. So what does that mean? You can buy business, wait for business, or go find it every day. What does that mean? Well, put quite simply, it means that, when you're in a situation where you have to sell, particularly if you're living on a commission lifestyle, or if you're a wholesaler or an investor and you're out there living, like that, if you don't have a salaried job or an hourly wage or anything like that, and you depend on your wit and skill to get a deal done and to make your money, if that's your life, you can either buy business, you can wait for business, or you can go find it every single day. So when Mike said you can go buy business, what does that mean? Well, I took that to mean that you can go out if you want to, and you can go buy business, meaning you can go run Facebook ads. You can run bus benches, billboards, newspaper ads, full page ad in the New York Times. I mean, whatever it is you want to do, you can go ahead and spend the money that it takes to generate the lead, right? I mean, you've got a lot of systems. You've got a lot of people out there trying to take your money, right? Now, hello?
This is Barb.
Oh, hi, Barb.
Please leave a message. I will call you back.
Somehow I don't think Barb's going to call me back, but we'll leave a message anyway. So here's the point. You can either buy a business, wait, or go find it. So buying business, if when I was starting out, right, this is years ago. Right? This is like 21 years ago. I remember coming here to Tucson, Arizona from
Hello, this is Robert Seyfried. Please leave a message, and I will call you back as soon as possible.
I remember moving here from Tucson, and there was a fellow at that time who was selling a $700 program that would teach you how to use recordings, 1-800 numbers and voice recordings and things of that nature to help automate your business. And I remember thinking to myself at that time, if I just got that program, I'd have it made. If I just had this one, if I pay this guy $700 and get this system, I'll have it made. And you can joke it and laugh at me and talk about how foolish I was 20 something years ago. And admittedly, I was a young kid. I didn't know any better. But really, is that any different than the $26,000 people pay to go to, somebody's, program? I mean, is that fundamentally any different than paying $1,000 a month for somebody to coach you? I mean, it's a question about your reward over what you've paid. And when you're trying to buy business, your return on investment is very difficult to comprehend because you don't know how to accurately figure out your return.
Hello?
Hey, this is Carl Krenzel. How are you today?
Fine.
I was looking for the Wolf residence over there on Shorecliff. Have I got the right place?
Yes?
Oh, great. Okay, well, listen up. My name's Carl Krenzel again. I just listed a home for sale. I'm a broker over here at Sotheby's, and screwed up. See, now that's what happens when you don't know your scripts. When you sit here and you fudge and you fool around and you don't do it right, they're going to hang up just like that. That was entirely my fault. That was because I was sitting here trying to think of something else and not paying attention to the script. and actually, this is good that happened, because when you think about it, when you're trying to buy business, right? If you're new and you don't know what to say, and you're, like me, like I was right there, just trying to fudge and screw, and your mouth is full of mush, and people hang up on you, or you can't make an appointment, or when you do make an appointment, they don't sell to you. I mean, or list, right? I mean, whatever the circumstances is, when you're trying to buy business, unless you're real good at conversion, unless you're exceptional at your presentation, unless your closing skills are on par, it's very difficult to discern whether or not buying that business was worthwhile as far as a return on your investment, because you can't discern. You might have generated X amount of leads, but you can't tell if those leads were really any good, if they were pre-qualified, or was it just the fact that you weren't that good and you screwed the lead up like I did right there, right? It's difficult to discern that. And so when you're buying business, especially when you're new, as it's so difficult to determine the return on your investment, as it's so difficult to determine where people actually see your signs, see your ads, and where your business physically comes from, it's difficult to reproduce, right? I mean, you can't be 100% certain. I mean, unless, of course, the only place you advertise is Facebook, and then they're, Facebook messengering you, then yes, of course you could certainly determine that it's from there. But if you're running ads or web pages or 1-800 numbers or things of that nature, it can be very difficult to determine where this lead's going to come from, because people will call you. You've heard me, talk to people, and they've said, well, gosh, you've been sending me your mailers and you keep getting me on the wrong place. Would you please take me off your mailer? I don't send mailers. The public is confused. You see what I'm saying?
Hello, it's Roy.
Hey, Roy, Carl Krenzel, how are you?
Okay, thank you.
I'm with Sotheby's International Realty. I just listed a home for sale not far from you over there at 254 East Shorecliff. It's a 1,879 square foot place with 4 bedrooms and 3 baths. We're asking $280,000 for it. I was just calling.
Why are you telling me this?
Yeah, I was just calling to see if maybe you knew of anybody who was moving into the area.
No, sorry, gotta go. Bye.
All right. Have a great day. Buying business. You could avoid making these just listed, just sold calls. You could avoid that. All you got to do is pay for postcards. Mailer.
Your call has been forwarded to an auto.
That's all you got to do. Just pay for a mailer. That's the same thing as buying business, right? Now, I could, if I wanted to notify all these people about this home for sale, I could attempt to buy their business by getting a mailer ready.
Hello?
Hi, Sally?
Yes?
Oh, hi, Sally. This is Carl. How you doing?
Who is this?
Oh, I'm sorry. My name is Carl Krenzel. I'm with Sotheby's International Realty. I'm calling about your property over there on Stream's Edge. Do you still own that house?
Yes, I do.
Okay, great. Well, the reason why I'm calling is because I just listed a home for sale not far from you at 254 East Shorecliff. My property is at
Right.
my property is at 1,879 square foot place with 4 bedrooms, 3 baths, and we're asking 280 for it. And I was just calling you today
Yeah.
to see if you knew of anybody who might be interested in moving into our area. Do you know anybody?
No, we're retired, so we don't know a lot of people, but it's okay. I'm getting ready to go to our church, and there may be somebody who's moved into the community.
Yes, ma'am. And actually, it's interesting you should mention that because the owners of the home and I are also believers, and we are reaching out to people just like you and around the neighborhood to see if perhaps you know of anybody. So absolutely, if you're heading into church for the Quilton service, then feel free to pass the word. We'd certainly appreciate the word. Okay.
Sure.
Hey, by the way, Sally, have you folks considered selling your property on Stream's Edge at all?
No.
Oh, okay. I'm just wondering because if many times we'll get like somebody who's interested in our place, but for whatever reason it doesn't work, and I always kind of like to know who might be interested, kind of in the area. So, what price do you suppose you would become a seller at?
Gee, I really hadn't thought about it since we updated everything. We put in new floors, new counters,
Wow.
Updated the master bath. Fireplace in the back. So this is kind of like we moved all our lives, and so I don't want to pack up again. So that's why we hadn't really considered that.
Well, I don't blame you.
I'd love to chat with you a little longer about it, but I really need to get
no
going
worries.
here.
Well, you
so
have
put out the word.
Yes, ma'am. You have a wonderful day. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Bye.
Yes, ma'am. Bye-bye. All right. I think it's important that you operate in fairness with people. She was trying to get off the phone. That's cool. There's no need to keep pushing and pushing and pushing. I mean, I know that I've been guilty in the past of playing the hang up game where you keep going until somebody hangs up, but I mean, what else are you going to get from the woman, right? I mean, so buying business, right? I mean, getting back to this point. I mean, I could go out and get a fancy mailer together, right? Some postcards, 4-color postcards, extra large, the kind I'm talking about, right? I could spend the money for that. I could get a nice stamp, send it out to everybody in the neighborhood, letting them know, hey, guess what? We got this property for sale. And if you know anybody, let me know. And by the way, if you're thinking of selling, or if you want to know the value of your home, give me a call. I could do that. But that costs money. And there's no certain way to determine the return on your investment, right? So for example, you send out that mailer. There's 50 homes that you're mailing it to. If you get a 1% return on that, you might get maybe 1 letter, maybe 2 if you're scoring high. Get 2 return calls, let's say. Maybe. There's no certainty that you're going to get even that. And now you spent some money. Hey, this is Carl Krenzel. How are you today?
Who are you?
Oh, I'm sorry. I might have the wrong fellow. My name is Carl. I was looking for Jerry Simmons. He's the owner of that property over there on Hewitt Place. Is that your property?
Yes.
Oh, great. Okay. Well, again, my name's Carl. I'm with Sotheby's International Realty. I just listed a home for sale not far from you over there at 250.
Not interested. Thank you.
I'm not trying to sell you that house. I was actually trying to get your help here. The neighbors needed your help. Have you got a second? Jerry? All right. No worries. Boom. Hang up. Boom. All right. Boom. Okay. Same thing goes for buying business in advertisements, Facebook ads, things that Facebook ads, I will admit, a little bit better than your regular traditional ad because it's targeted and it's far cheaper. So I don't have as much complaint about a Facebook ad, right? But it's still buying business because to get the kind of business that you want, you have to go through a lot of leads. Okay. You have to think of this as a huge funnel. And I don't know if any of you ever have like a YouTube channel or any kind of social media type of situation where you look at the metrics and you're able to see how literally, for example, on Sell More Homes Now, this channel you're watching this on, I can see that literally 28,000 people will get an impression of a particular thing or two. And then, maybe 2,800 will have an interest in it. And out of that, maybe 60 will watch it. And out of that, maybe 30 will watch the whole thing. And out of that, maybe 1 or 2 people will become a subscriber.
Oh,
Hey, this is Carl Krenzel. How you doing?
fine.
I'm not sure if I got the right person. I was looking for the Slats. They own some property over there on Stream's Edge.
On where?
On Stream's Edge, 385 East Stream's Edge. Is that your property?
Yeah, what about it?
Oh, cool. No problem. Nothing actually about your property, but I just actually needed your help, if you don't mind. My name's Carl again. I'm a broker over here at Sotheby's International Realty. I represent one of the neighbors in the area. They own a property over there at 254 East Shorecliff. And I kind of promised them that I would call all the neighbors in the neighborhood because I just listed their property for sale. It's a 4-bedroom, 3-bath home. We're asking $280 for it. It's got 1,879 square feet. I'm calling you today, asking to see if perhaps you know of anybody who might be interested in moving to this area. Do you know anyone who's been talking about buying or moving into the area at all?
No, I haven't.
Okay. Well,
No.
I appreciate you taking the time out of your day to just think about it. I am curious, Mr. Slide, have you considered selling that property at all? Because if they're not interested in my place.
Not at this time. Sorry.
Okay.
Thank
All right.
you.
Cool. You have a great day. Thank you. All right. Press resume. There we go. So when you're buying business, you can see that if you're brand new, it's tough, right? It's tough because you got these leads you got to manage, you got to qualify them, you got to present to them. And if you're not particularly good at your skills, you can throw money away. That is what I did early in my career. It took me a long time to learn that just doesn't work, right? Second method of getting business is waiting for it. Waiting for business. Now, what do I mean by waiting for? What is Mike trying to say when he said you can wait for business? Well, okay. In the marketplace today,
call has been forwarded to an automated voice messaging system.
In the marketplace today, where you are, I don't know what state, city, province. Shout out to our Canadian and New Zealand friends, some folks from Ireland, the Philippines, Croatia. Let's see. I'm trying to think of where else I've seen some of these people that have listened to the podcast from. It's not just the United States. Turns out it's the United States primarily, of course, but a large portion of our listeners are
20991.
Believe it or not. A large portion of our listeners are actually in Canada and Ireland and the UK. So I was pleasantly surprised to see people from across.
Oh, this is Jim.
Hey, Jim, Carl, how you doing?
Who's this?
Oh, I'm sorry. My name is Carl. I might have the wrong number, Jim. I apologize. I'm looking for the owners of a property over there on Hewitt Place. Is that your property?
No, it's not.
Oh gosh, I'm so sorry. Okay, well, listen. Do you know anything about Mary Tierman or 10697 North Hewitt Place? Does that ring a bell at all?
No.
Gosh. Okay. Well, I guess I'm way off base. Okay. Well, I appreciate you. Since I got you anyway, do you know anybody who's got an unwanted home that I could buy for cash?
No, I don't.
All right. Well, I appreciate your time, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye. All right. So when we're talking about waiting for business, it's important for you to understand that selling is legal. I mean, if you're in the United States, okay, I don't know about all these other places we talked about, but in the United States, selling is still legal. I know it's hard for you to believe and accept this fundamental truth, but you can actually sell more. Hello? Patricia? Richard? That's what happens when I waited too long. See, it's good that you guys are watching or listening to me on the podcast and you can see where I screw up, and that way hopefully you'll be better than me at this. So there's literally no law at all against you selling a property in the morning, selling a property in the afternoon, and then selling another one in the evening. You can do.
Hello, you reached Dr. Wallinger. Please leave a message.
You could literally sell 2-3 homes a day, day after day after day, and nobody in the world is going to be mad at you. Your broker isn't going to stop you. Your sales managers are going to pull you aside and say, hey, listen, you're making everybody look bad. You need to cut this out. You know, nobody's going to tell you, hey, you're making too much money. Your wife's not going to get mad at you. You know, your accountant, you know, he's going to have more payments. He's going to have more things he's got to pay for, you know, more write-offs he's got to locate. He's going to have to sharpen that pencil. But nobody is going to be mad at you for selling. So why do we act like selling is illegal? Why? Why do we act like selling is some criminal enterprise that we're involved in? I'm a real estate consultant, right? I'm not a salesperson. Oh, no. I'm a real estate consultant. I am a CEO. I'm a, what's some of the other LinkedIn profile things I've seen? I'm an entrepreneur. You know, if you're waiting for business, you're not going to be able to get the amount of leads you need to get. You know, last night we did the prospecting session. This is really why, if you haven't already subscribed to the channel on YouTube, you definitely want to go ahead and hit subscribe and hit the notification button, because, you know, I'm out here prospecting at all hours, right? And yesterday afternoon we were prospecting, and I remember I haven't. Hello?
Hello.
Oh, hi there. This is Carl Krenzel. How are you today?
Hi, good.
Are you the lady who owns a house on Brierley Drive?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, great. Okay. Well, my name is Carl, and I'm with Sotheby's Realty. I just listed a home for sale down the street from you on Shorecliff. It's a 4-bedroom, 3-bath house for $280,000. Do you know anybody who'd be interested in buying that home?
I know it. No.
No?
Yeah.
Okay, no problem. I'm curious, have you thought about selling your home at all?
The house is in contact.
It's under
Right now.
contract right now? Oh, praise God. Well, congratulations. Well, congratulations. Good for you. Do you happen to have any other properties that you're thinking of selling?
You know what? I am a realtor too.
Oh, you're a realtor as
So you know
well.
Yeah.
Well, bless God. Well, good for you, and good for you for getting your contract. Well, listen, you have a great day, and I will talk to you soon. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
You know, she's a sweet lady. She has such a soft voice. You know, when you're prospecting, okay. By the way, we just called all those 50 people in that subdivision. So now we're going to head over and hit some of these expireds. I don't think there was but 2 brand new ones today. So we might have to call a few old ones. So we'll see what happens. But when you're calling people, I've made mention of this before. You want to make sure that you match their tone and their tonality when you're talking to them. So if you're talking to a guy and he's got a loud voice and he's boisterous and all that, then it's okay for you to talk loud. It's okay for you to be a little bit more boisterous, right? If on the other hand you're talking to a lady who's got a softer voice, it's probably a better idea for you to be matching that as opposed to coming in strong, right? All right. So now we're going to go ahead and hit the dial button on the expired. So now we're dialing back into the expireds. I wanted to call those just listed, just sold first thing this morning because I did want to go ahead and keep my promise to the homeowner. I'm sorry, the homeowner that listed the property with me. I promised him that I would, make some efforts to find a buyer for his property and letting the people in the area know. So we contacted everybody in there, left them a message, letting them know about the property. We've called those people who are at home. We've talked to them. And of course, we'll follow up a little bit later on with another call. As I was talking about earlier, the podcasting we did, the prospecting we did yesterday about 5-ish in the evening. We had a second session, a late afternoon session. It was about an hour, 45 minutes or so, where we were prospecting. We were encountered with a lot of situations where, properties.
I couldn't take your call. I hope you're having a good day. I'll call you back.
Property didn't sell, and they needed somebody to end up buying the property. You can wait for these situations to occur, right? Waiting for business, like waiting in an open house.
Hi, you've reached Karen's speech line.
You can, sit in an open house and wait for people to come in. That's waiting for business. That's one way, right? Another way of waiting for business is holding floor time. Okay. Some places still have floor time. Where I am, we have floor time. Floor time, depending on how it's conducted, can be, a useful part of your time. But understand, you're waiting for something to happen. You're waiting for people to call. You're waiting for someone to walk in or something along those lines. That's not. Hello?
Hello?
Oh, hi. My name is Carl. I'm not sure if I've got the right person. I was looking for the owner of that property on Marquise Drive here in Tucson. Is this the right place?
No, wrong number.
Oh, gosh. Do you know anything about that property or Alf's Homes LLC at all? Do you know anything about that?
Nope.
Oh, gosh. Okay. I'm sorry. Have a great day. Okay.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. All right. There we go. Boom. Waiting for business would also be waiting on corporate relocation business, right? Corporate relocation business. I've got plenty of great clients from corporate relocation before, but it comes at a cost. You got to pay a referral fee generally, and you have to wait because it's not like you get every single referral, right? You have to wait your turn. Also, you have to wait for people to move to your town. If you're in a company that has a good, strong relocation company, then that's fine. But if you have a company that doesn't have a relocation company or doesn't deal with relocation very often, well, then that's not really
2066.
That's not really an option for you. Another form of waiting for business. Let's see here. We've got open houses, floor time. Trying to think of what else would be a good waiting for business type of thing. It's the things that you could think of that you would do that do not require any action on your part other than to sit back and wait. And it's very similar. It goes hand in hand many times with buying business. you'll go buy an ad in Facebook or Homes and Land page or wherever you buy your local advertising. And then you sit back and you wait for things to happen. Okay. So in real estate or in business, those are two of the most common ways that people go and get business.
Hello.
Hey, this is Carl Krenzel. How are you today?
Hello.
Yes. Can you hear me okay? Hello. Is this Alcyon Properties? Okay. Is this Alcyon? Okay. Yeah. I was looking for Alcyon Properties on Winston Avenue. Have I got the right place?
Okay. Assigned property.
What's that?
Mhm.
Okay. You have a great day. Thank you. Bye-bye. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and delete that number because it didn't really sound like he was particularly able to understand or hear me well. So he was a number I was certainly not familiar with the zip codes. We're just going to go ahead and delete that one. It's not the end of the world if I don't reach the homeowner of this particular property, then I'm not going to lose my mind. I'm sitting here looking at the good thing about the Vortex, the TheRedX system with the Vortex dialer, the storm dialer that they have. You have the ability to look at the previous multiple listing service listing picture, and so you're able to see, bedrooms, baths, year, what it looks like. And then you're also at a glance able to go ahead and press a button and hit the Zillow function. So it'll open up the Zillow page right there in the different window. So while you're talking to them, you can just hit that button and see what the Zillow estimate is and a bunch of other data that you need to, or if it's a for sale by owner or any of the other data you need to know. So it's a very quick way to interact with a client or a customer and find out if is this something that you really need to follow up with, right? So waiting for business is appealing, just as buying business is appealing for people because there's minimal rejection. I mean, when you think about it, the thing that people hate to do the most, okay, is talk in front of other people. They'd rather die more often than not than get up in front and talk to somebody. And so it's very difficult for people to get out of their comfort zone and call people. And when you're trying to call somebody, you're putting yourself in a vulnerable position, right? You're calling them and they might say, hey, hit the road or something that's far more stringent than that, right? They might be, nasty sometimes. And if you open yourself up to that sort of critique and attack, that's not pleasant. And so when you take somebody's highest fear, public speaking, and then you mix into that one of their worst fears realized, being attacked without recourse. Because that's, what are you going to do? You're going to drive over to their house and punch them in the mouth because they called you a name? No, of course not. I mean, maybe you are. Maybe you're crazy like that. I don't know, but I'm not crazy like that, and I don't know anybody who is. So many times you have to sit here and suffer that. And if you're a man, that's tough to do. I mean, that's not easy. It's not easy for you to sit here and have somebody say something critical, negative, or nasty, or reject you, because in your spirit, that just riles you. And if you're a female, if you're a lady, then God bless your heart. You don't want to get involved in that kind of confrontation. I get it.
Hi, I'm sorry I can't get to the phone right now. Please.
So that's why many times you'll discover the most popular method of teaching people how to do business in the $26,000, strategy classes you go to for, weeks or whatever, or the the kind of coaching you get from some of these so-called coaches, it always revolves around two methods: buying business or waiting for business. You build something and you wait, like a web page, right? That's a great one. Build a web page and wait, right? If you want to accelerate your web page, then you buy a pay-per-click. That's a perfect example of that, right? And it's taught as a valid strategy because they know that you don't want to have rejection. It's not going to, if they taught you the truth about what it would take for you to get real business, then you would quit. You'd drop out. You'd say no. You'd never buy their books. You'd never buy their tapes. You'd never go attend their seminars. It's easier for them to sing the siren song of advertising and waiting for business than it is for them to tell you the truth about what it is you have to do to get the business. What is this way? This hidden secret, this method that they refuse to tell you? The third way? Go find it every day. Yes, go find it every day. It's difficult to accept this premise because we don't want to. We want it easy. I didn't get into this game so I could work. What are you talking about? That's nonsense. I didn't do that. It's crazy talk. The reason why we don't want to go find it every day is because it puts us in a position where we are faced with rejection, where we're faced with the truth about our services. If you're not making money in this business, it's because nobody has seen any value in what you provide. That's going to hurt. That's going to leave a mark. I'm sorry. I apologize. I apologize for letting that cold, hard truth hit you square in the face or in your ears when you weren't prepared. I should have warned you before I told you that. It's true. It's the God's honest truth. You are paid in direct proportion to what people feel your value is. If you're not getting paid, it's because people don't really value you. Maybe you're in a job. Let's say your employer comes to you one day and says, I know you've been here 10 years and we appreciate everything you've done to work with us, but let's see here.
Please leave your message for 52044444.
When you, there we go. When you go out and take the steps you need to take to find the business, to put yourself in that spot, people are going to tell you no. People are going to hang up on you, and people are going to be rude sometimes. But the unique factor about finding it every day, well, first, it's free. It doesn't cost you very much to go out and call somebody. In fact, if you're at a regular real estate agent brokerage or something along those lines, chances
I'm not in, but if you leave your name and the number.
Chances are they provide you with a phone line, a room. Hello?
Please leave your message for.
They provide you maybe even a room where you can call, right? So if you've got a free place, if you've got a free phone line, and you got access to the multiple listing service, you can call an expired listing. Even if you don't like expired listings, you call for sale by owner. You know that you could use the numbers to your favor Work them in your behalf to where, what do you know? Now you got a listing. Now you got a buyer. And there's legitimately no reason why you couldn't do that every day, all day. Go find it. But it requires you to be a little bit more creative, a little bit more aggressive, and a lot more resilient than you thought you had in you to begin with. Oh, look, I get it. Everybody's graduating high schools and colleges and all that this time of year. Get it. You graduated, maybe even graduated real estate school, and you're smart. You're graduated now. You know it all, everything you need to know. Look, let me tell you something. This process, okay, is a marathon, and you're facing the likes of Usain Bolt with the speed, right? You've got people like Usain Bolt
Hello, this is Diane. Sorry, I missed your call.
who's a
Please leave
sprinter,
message and I'll get back.
right? And they're able to do marathons, okay? Imagine if Usain Bolt, a sprinter, could do marathons, 26 miles, and he could do it at a high rate of speed. That is what you're going up against. You just graduated high school track, and you're going up against Usain Bolt on a marathon. And he's a marathon runner with that kind of speed. And now you think you're going to jump into this game and you're going to beat him. That's what I hear in my ears when I see realtors on forums or wholesalers on forums saying they're going to do
Call has been forwarded to an automated voice message.
hundreds of deals. That's what I hear. You're going to do hundreds of deals your first year in. Okay. Your second year in, you're going to do hundreds of deals. Okay. I don't think you have any comprehension of what you're asking for. If you're going to go out and do massive amounts of business, okay, and when I say massive amounts of business, it doesn't even have to be 100 deals a year. Look, the average realtor does less than 24 deals a year. Hello? Miss Garner? Hello? Hello? So if you're going to come into this game and you're going to bust out 100, how are you going to do it? How are you going to get all the leads? How are you going to make all those presentations? How are you going to handle all the leads? How are you going to handle all the problems that come with the leads and the problems and the transactions and the politics? How are you going to handle all that? You're not going to handle it your first year. It's like you running that marathon when you just got out of high school track against a professional who's been doing it for years and does it at a high rate of speed. You're not going to compete the same way. And if you do, you say, okay, well, gosh, I'm going to go out and I'm going to buy business, or I'm going to wait for business. I'm going to find it every day. That's my choices to compete in the marketplace. I can't tell you how many people I've seen in my marketplace come and go. Realtors come and go. And you've seen it where you are too. I'm not telling you something you haven't seen. I'm not telling you something you haven't heard. I'm not revealing a secret. Realtors come and go. There was a guy here in town. God bless his heart. I love him. You know, last name was Hilkemeyer, as I recall. And the reason why I remember Hilkemeyer is because he was one of these guys who thought he would do it by buying it. He thought he would compete with the Usain Bolts, the marathon runners with the speed in our marketplace by buying business. You know, there's people in my marketplace who've done
Bill Coatsworth. Please leave your name and give your phone number slowly and the reason for your call, and I will call you back. Thank you.
Hey, Bill, this is Carl Krenzel. You called me back the other day about your property on Heritage Canyon. I'm sorry I missed your call. If you'd like, feel free to call me back on my cell, 520-403-6227. Thanks a lot, and I hope you have a great day. Bye-bye. Right. All right. All right. All right. So let's just let's see here. Let's see if I can try to move on to the next. I think I'm at the end of the. Yeah, I'm at the end of the. I'm at the end of the list, right? And I'm just trying to get through this fellow's numbers here. There we go. Boom. Okay. Without disconnecting. There we go. Perfect. So I've gone through all the expireds. We've gone through that just listed, just sold section, right? Let's go ahead and call for rent by owners. We could call for sale by owners. But the good thing about for sale by owners is they typically have their cell phones in their data. And so you can pretty much call them anytime, right? You want to call the people that's going to be a little bit harder to reach, like your expireds, your just listed, just solds, stuff like that. You want to call them first thing because it's going to be a little bit difficult to reach them. But the for sale by owners, they always have their cell phones. You can call them pretty much anytime. So here we are calling now some for rent by owners. Let's go ahead and switch it up a little bit. Whammo. Okay, boom. Now we're calling for rent by owners. As I mentioned.
Hello. Please state your name after the tone.
I remember this fellow in particular because we have people in my marketplace, who do hundreds of deals, large teams. There's even solo practitioners with maybe a transaction manager or an office manager, maybe even a buyer's agent perhaps, and they've done.
Hello?
Oh, hi there. This is Carl. How are you today?
Who's this?
Oh, my name is Carl. I was calling about that rental you had listed online. Are you still trying to fill that vacancy?
I'm still getting people looking. If they're interested in maybe look at it, I'm still accepting tenants or possible tenants.
Gotcha. Okay. No problem. Well, the reason why I called is my name is Carl Krenzel. I'm a broker here in town who buys properties. I'm calling because I work with a lot of buyers and sellers, investors in the area. I just wanted to see what your long-term plans were with that property.
Long-term plan is to keep the property if possible.
I hear you. That's a great property to have. Have you ever considered just selling it as opposed to renting it?
Well, not right at this time.
Oh, I see.
I have another property for sale. I don't know. Maybe you can expedite that one.
Oh yeah, is it currently on the?
Price on it.
Is it currently on the MLS?
Huh? Yes.
Oh, okay. Who's your listing agent? Maybe I know them. Rom?
Yes, Michael Murphy with
Oh.
Rom Realty Company.
Oh, okay, cool. All right. Yeah, I'm sure he's a good guy. I've not done any business with him myself, but I'm sure he's a good man. No worries. Okay. Well, listen, I will do what I can to help you get a buyer for that other one. Do you happen to know of anybody else?
Do you want me to get the address?
Well, you said it was on the multiple listing service and it was listed with Mike Murphy, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And how much are you wanting for it?
Right now, I got the price of $137.5.
37.5 or 137.5?
137.5.
Okay. Does it need any kind of work at all, or?
Not really. No.
Okay.
Very good condition.
All right. No worries. Do you know anybody else who's got an unwanted home that I could buy for cash that maybe needs a little bit of work?
I'm not right at this time.
Okay. Cool. Well, I appreciate your time, and I'll do what I can to help find a buyer for your other one. Fair enough?
Okay. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Have a great day.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Right. So getting back to Hilkemeyer, God bless his heart.
Hello?
Hi, this is Carl Krenzel. How are you today?
This is who?
Oh, I'm sorry. My name is Carl Krenzel. I'm calling about that rental you had. I was calling about that rental you had listed online. Are you still trying to fill that
Which one?
It was on Leicester Street.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was. Is
sure.
yeah? Is that place still available, or what's the?
It is available. I'm showing it and obviously taking applications. So yeah, if I can
Okay,
answer any
gotcha.
questions for
Yeah,
you, I'd love to.
no problem. Well, sure. My name is Carl. Again, I'm a broker here in town who buys property. I was calling about that property because I just wanted to see what your long-term plans were with that house.
Yeah, you know what? I'm not selling.
No, I don't blame you. That's a great little property there. If I was in the area to buy that, I'd certainly buy it myself. Do you happen to know of anybody else in that area who's got an unwanted home I could buy?
You know what? I don't.
No worries. Okay.
Sorry.
All right. And I'm curious, at what price would you become a seller at that price on that
You know
property?
what? I'm not. Actually, I'm not selling. I actually invest in property.
Well, God bless your
I'm
heart.
actually a real estate agent.
Well, God bless your
I'm
heart
actually
twice.
a real estate agent myself.
Well,
So,
good
yeah.
deal. All right. Well, listen, you have a great day and make sure you get hydrated in this heat today. It's going to be super hot. Okay.
All right. You take care of yourself.
Yes,
Bye-bye.
ma'am. Take care, Lisa. Bye-bye.
All right. Bye-bye.
All right. So let's see here. Now, so Hilkemeyer goes out. God bless his heart. I mean, he's trying, right? And he
This is Rita.
Hey, Rita, Carl Krenzel, how you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm better than I deserve. Thank you. I was calling about a rental you had over there on Hampton Street. Is that still available?
Yes and no. We actually have offered it to someone. We're waiting to hear back from them this morning.
Okay.
We are scheduling to show it today between 5:30 and 6:30.
No worries.
If they don't get back to us. So if you wanted to look at it,
No problem. Actually, the reason why I called, I'm a broker here in town. I actually buy property. I was just calling to see what your long-term plan were with that property.
oh, we're going to keep it forever.
I don't blame you. That's a great little spot. Good for you. Do you happen to know of anybody else who's got some unwanted property that I could buy for cash?
To be honest, no. This is just a home that we've owned for 20-some years. So,
Wow.
we're not really.
Is this the only
landlords in the traditional sense.
No problem. Is this the only one you have?
The only rental, yes.
Okay, yeah, that's what I meant. Yeah, okay. Well, that's cool. I mean, if you're going to have just a rental, I mean, that's a pretty good place to have just a rental because it's a good spot.
Yeah, it's pretty easy.
Yeah, you made a good choice. All right. Well, listen, I appreciate you taking the time out of your day to talk to me. I hope you have a wonderful day. Okay.
You too.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
All right. So Hilkemeyer goes out, right? And so he gets this huge bus bench, right? And he gets this picture of himself and he takes this, they got him all made up in green like the Hulk, right? And his shirt's all ripped and his arms are like this. He's like, rah, right? And I remember it because it was like a play on the Milky Way commercials, right? Do things the Hilky way. Or he had two bus benches. One of them was do the Hilky way, and the other one was this Hulk thing where him being the Hulk protecting your values or something like that. And I just remember, you could probably think of a dozen instances like that where you live, right? I mean, this certainly doesn't happen only in Tucson, right? However, it's a perfect example of where you get somebody who's brand new in the business or very new. I remember another girl. I mean, this was even years before that. She was going to get she came from a radio background and she had a radio station come out to the office, the brokerage office, and have a cookout and all this stuff in front of the big party in front of the brokerage and a radio station comes, and I remember all those things. And it was because these brand new people in the business, thought that they were smarter than everybody else, that they were immune from these three laws. You can either buy a business. Nastrid.
Please leave your message for 5.
You could either buy a business, you could wait for business, or you could go out and find it every day, right? They thought they were immune from that. And both of those agents, They didn't last. They got out of the business within 18 months. They were about faster than that. I mean, I think Hilkmeyer lasted longer. This other girl, I think she lasted maybe 10 months at the most. The reality is that despite our craziest attempts to attract attention, no matter how we degrade ourselves or cut our commissions or whatever we may do to our signs to make them appear more better. I remember one time, oh my gosh, I'll save that story for another time. But I made these. Sarah?
Hi, this is Keith.
Oh.
Sorry I missed you, but please leave your name and
I
telephone
made
number.
these signs. I'm sorry, these flags for a property that I was trying to sell. Instead of a price reduction, I go out there and put these huge, dumb flags like new construction in front of this guy's house to help attract attention. Now, this shows you how stupid I was. I did all kinds of dumb things instead of getting a price reduction, which is what that man needed. The reason why we don't ask for price reductions, the reason why we don't prospect, the reason why we don't lead generate.
Hi, this is Bessie. Sorry I missed your call. Please leave me a message and I'll get back to you as soon as I can.
The reason why we don't do that is because we are afraid of getting confronted. We are afraid of being told no. We are afraid of being rejected. We will do anything to avoid being rejected. We'll spend any amount. There's no expense spared. We will do whatever it takes to avoid looking foolish. I mean, instead of calling for sale by owners and expireds and canceleds where you have the opportunity to hear
You have reached the voicemail box of
voicemails or no answers, or even somebody who says, yes, come over. I mean, you never really know. Instead of taking the time to do that, because
You have reached 602-710-9842. I am unable to come to the phone right now, but if you'll leave a message, I'll get back to you as soon as possible. Thank you.
At the tone, please record your message. When you've finished recording, you may hang up or press 1 for more options.
sorry about that, folks. I had to figure out who that was real quick because for whatever.
Hello. Please state your name after the tone, and Google Voice will try to connect you.
Yeah, I don't want to deal with that one either. There we go. Boom. Instead of calling people, instead of calling for sell by owners and for rent by owners and taking the risk of hearing no and hearing all these people yell at you or possibly saying yes, you never really know how it's going to work out. Instead of doing that, we'll spare no expense. We'll spend every dime we have to go ahead and avoid doing that. We'll wait in every open house. You know, we'll buy every postcard, every system that somebody will sell us, every new Facebook thing you see to run ads on Facebook to get, qualified sellers to your door in 5 seconds or less, and all these other things. Look, this is not new. They've been doing this. They've been playing this game with realtors and investors for years. You want to know who made the most money during the gold rush? The gold rush in California back in 18 whatever. I mean, when all these people were hustling to get to California to make gold, do you know who made all the money in the gold rush? It's people selling shovels. People selling shovels. People in Arizona. You're going to California? Yeah, man. Yeah, it's a lot of gold there. Tell you what, let me sell you this shovel. This shovel is going to be tough. It's going to be A1. You're not going to have to worry about it breaking. They just stay here in Arizona, sell you the shovel, let you go dig in the mountains of California and waste your life and keep that $20. And I'll keep selling that $20 shovel to every person who comes by on the way to California searching for gold. Instead of teaching you where the gold is, they give you the tools to dig it up. That's the difference, I think, in what you're looking for in people who are going to coach you or mentor you or help you in your life. I do believe that there is value in coaching. I do believe that there's value in mentoring and having somebody walk you through a process and help you. I believe that there's value in that. But the primary difference between people who try to sell you things and snake oil and hucksters, and those who truly care about your welfare in the business, okay, you can tell by their ability and their willingness to tell you the hard, unvarnished truth. And that you can take to the bank.
Hello. Please state your name after the...
Because more often than not, what you'll discover in this business, the longer you're in it, people are very anxious to get you to buy into their system or their way of thinking, but they're not anxious to tell you the truth about why it won't work or what it will take to make it work. So, for example, in this buying business issue,
Hello. Please state your name after the tone.
there are a lot of people that you're familiar with in the space, if you will, the wholesaling real estate space, the real estate investing space. There's a whole lot of people out there who promote this concept of mailings, pay-per-click, Bing advertisement, etc. A lot of people who promote these ideas. A lot of people in real estate promote this idea of mailing to your center of influence and slide dial and all these other things, waiting for people to contact you. Because wouldn't it be great to have your customers pre-qualified, filtered, and driven to use to where they're ready to buy buyers are delivered to your door 5 at a time per day? I mean, wouldn't that be awesome? And that's the way they kind of promote it. And it sounds good. It's like honey in our mouth. We just crave it. It's tell me more. But in the end, it turns out to be dust in your mouth, where you spent all the money and the leads have come and now you got nothing to show for it. So how do you go find business every day? The advantage then, obviously, is that it's generally free. There's nobody saying you can't knock on a door. Nobody's saying you can't call around. Nobody's saying you can't deal with the customers that are around you every day. There's no reason why you couldn't go get you a bunch of business cards or some flyers together and go down to your local neighborhood that needs some repair. You know the neighborhoods that I'm talking about that are around you or whatever that you want to buy, and go hit those neighborhoods with a flyer. That's not going to take you no time at all. That's something active that you can do, right? Think about the way that it would make you feel. I mean, it doesn't cost you anything to call somebody. It doesn't cost you anything to knock on a door. It doesn't cost you hardly anything to leave a flyer, except your time. That's all it costs you, is your time and your ego that you have to get out and physically work. Now, look, I don't know about you, okay? I'm old, apparently. That's what they tell me. I didn't realize that 49 is old, but I guess 49 is old nowadays, right? Look, let me tell you something, okay? There is something to be pleasured. There's something to be gained. There's something to be gained by going out and doing the work it takes to find someone and to help them. Currently, by the way, in case you're listening to the podcast, we just switched over. We've dialed all the expireds, all the canceleds. Now we are moving into the area where I just bought a property yesterday. We called them first thing in the morning yesterday. We also called them last night. And now I'm calling all the folks that I missed again today. I'm calling back through that neighborhood to see if I can catch up with those folks who have a property that might be interested in selling. So that's where we're calling right now. If you hear the phone pickup, that's who's going to be picking up. But yeah, when you're out there picking up, trying to find a way to make business, you've got your expireds, you've got cancels, you got for sale by owner.
Please leave your message for
Harvey Arcee.
Okay. Boom. There we go. When you're out here trying to do it, all the people we're currently calling, we got for sale by owners. We got expired.
call has been forwarded to an automatic voice message system.
Got expireds, got cancels, right? You've got for rent by owners. right? You've got people in your marketplace who have problem properties, and all you have to do is go find them and then offer them a solution, right? Now, let's say you're brand new and you're like, oh gosh, Carl, I suck at this. I'm not good on the phone. I can't get an appointment. I mean, it's not going to work for me. How much did it cost you to be on the phone for an hour or 2 hours a day?
Hello?
Hi, this is Carl Krenzel. How you doing?
Pretty good.
I'm not sure if I've got the right place. I was looking for the Salgados. They own some property at 2701 Warwick Vista. Is that your home?
No, I think you got the wrong number.
Oh my goodness. Okay, yeah, my name's Carl. I just bought the house down the street from them. Do you know anything about that house at all, or is this like completely out of the blue? You don't know anything about it?
No, I've had this phone number for about 2 years now, so I think it has to be wrong.
Oh gosh. Okay. Well, geez, I'm sorry. Well, listen, I hope you have a great day. Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks. Take care. Bye bye. Right. Wrong number. Delete that. Count. All right. So here we go. Yeah. So, if you committed, and admittedly, prospecting is a lot like jogging or any other habit. It's not like you can just wake up one day and say, you know what? I think I'm going to go prospect for 2 hours today. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. Most people, this is just my experience, not necessarily indicative of your experience, but just been my experience. Most people do not get up and prospect for 2 hours a day. It's hard for them because their phone goes off. There's distractions. There's people in the office coming in and out. There's a deal that they got to work on. There's all these things that are distracting them from generating business. And so they don't do it. And when they do it, let's say they do decide, okay, well, I'm going to give this prospecting a shot. I'm going to give it a chance. I'm going to see what happens. Well, then they don't really fully commit to it. They might prospect for an hour a week, maybe 2 hours a week. It doesn't work. You don't get any responses. You don't get any kind of momentum built up, and it doesn't work. And you throw up your hands and that doesn't work. Prospecting works if you do. And that's the problem. I can't tell you how many times I've had people tell me that they don't want to prospect, that they don't want to call strangers on the phone. Then they end up out of the business or part-time in the business calling people on the phone. I mean, it's like you didn't want to do calling on the phone because you hated it. You didn't make any money at it. And now you're out of the business and you got a job doing what? Oh yeah, working in a call center. How does that work? I don't get it. And if it only happened once in my life, then I'd say, well, it's just an anomaly. But I can't tell you how many times I've had that situation happen in my life. You don't want to call somebody, so you don't make the commitment to prospect. You don't make the commitment that it takes to contact people every day, to get yourself out there, expose yourself to the public. You don't make that commitment. And because you don't make that commitment, right, what happens? You fail. And you have to go get a real job. And then, who's hiring? Call centers. Look, if you just built the habit, okay? Because in a call center, look, I've worked in call centers before, right? And in a call center situation, okay, you're calling for hours on end. Hours on end. All right? We're not talking about a situation where you just prospect for an hour or two and then you get up and then you go to lunch and then you go have friends with, lunch with your friends and you have a couple drinks and maybe you'll hear. No, I'm talking about you go there, you prospect for an hour or two and you have a break and then you prospect for an hour or two and then you have your lunch and you prospect for an hour or two and you take a break and you prospect for an hour or two and then you go home and then you come back and you do it all over again. And that's your life. Why? Because you were too smart. You were too smart. You're smarter than everybody else. You decided you wanted to buy business and you wasted all your money. You decided you're smarter than everybody else. You're just going to wait it out. You're going to do this because there's just too many people who are calling. There's too many realtors calling. There's too many investors calling these for sale by owners and for rent by owners. There's just too much competition. I'm just going to run an ad or I'm going to wait in an open house and I'm going to see what happens. Good luck trying to get business done.
Hello.
Hey, this is Carl Krenzel. How you doing?
What can I help you with?
I'm not sure if I have the right place. I was looking for the Kuros residence over there on Winchester Vista. Have I got the right place?
No, wrong number.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Do you know anything about goodness. Right. I think that was my fault because I probably acted too salesy on that one. That's all right. We'll call him back. It's no big deal. You were too smart to take active steps. Hey, this is Carl. How you doing?
Who is this?
Oh, my name's Carl. I was looking for the owner of a place over there on Keswick. Is that your home?
What do you need, Carl?
Yeah, no problem. I just bought a home. My name, by the way, is Carl Krenzel. I just bought a home not far from you at 2639 Warwick Vista. So it's like a street up from you. And I just wanted to let you know, I was called the neighbors, let them know that I got that house. We're going to have some people coming over, cleaning it up. You're going to see workers out there. So if you're out there walking the dog and you see my guys out there cleaning it up, fixing it up, you'll know what's going on. That way, if there's any kind of code issues or something like that, just reach out and give me a call personally. I'll handle it. But I just wanted to reach out to you personally and say, that's what was going on. By the way, do you happen to know of anybody else in the subdivision I ought to talk to who might be interested in an all cash offer on a house that they don't want?
No, and neither are we, actually.
Well, that's okay, because I didn't ask you, because I figured you've been there for a while anyway. All right. Well, listen, Mr. Marino, I appreciate your patience, and I hope you have a wonderful day, okay?
Thank you.
Take care. Bye-bye. Personally, I like it when people try to get a little snarky with me and they're like, well, we don't want to sell it either. That's great because I didn't ask you. People have this homogenous idea that I want to buy everybody's home, and it could not be further from the truth. I don't want to buy your 2,300 square foot home because you clearly put on additions since it was built in 1958. Fairly certain that your home is not worth anywhere the amount that you think it's worth, and it's probably a nightmare to rebuild. So
Call has been forwarded to an automated voice message.
Not particularly interested in buying your ratty little home, right? People, you got to have this mindset in your head. Look, I'm not saying you want to be mean to people or anything. No, but look, don't take these slings and arrows that people tell you, this rejection that people tell you. I mean, this is why you don't go find it every day. This is why you don't go out and find properties every day. This is why you don't prospect every day, is because when somebody says something snarky to you like that, you take it in your heart, you take it in your soul, and you let it rest. You let it fester. Yeah? No. You call that a spade right there. That's okay. I didn't want to call you anyway. That's okay. I didn't want to buy it anyway. How do I know? It might smell like cat urine. I mean, look, let's just be honest with people. Is there something wrong with honesty? Did I suddenly wake up in a twilight zone where we can't tell people honesty anymore for fear of hurting people's feelings? Is that really the world we live in? Because if that's the kind of world we live in, is it really any wonder why you feel so terrible every day? I mean, You got into this business so you could make money. You got into this business so you could have freedom. And the first things you lost when you got in this in this business was your freedom and your money. You're not free. You're not free at all. Oh, yeah. You play this game on Facebook. You got this really nice image on your Instagram posts and your Facegram page, but you know in your heart, in your mind, you are not what you say you are. Why aren't you what you say you are? Because of fear. Because you're afraid to say what's really on your mind. You're afraid to say what's really on your heart because of the repercussions of what other people will say about it. How in the world are you going to make massive amounts of money and have extraordinary freedom without having a lot of listings or a lot of contracts? How is that going to happen? If you're building an empire in wholesaling, or you're building an empire in real estate investing, you're building an empire, or whatever you say, you're building an empire. I love when people say they're building an empire. Great. What are you doing to build an empire? Tell me. Because more often than not, what's happening, I see people spending their way into oblivion.
Please leave your message for...
Look, I get it. You know, you want to spend your money your way, you make your money. Look, you made your money, spend it your way. I don't care how you spend your money. If you make your money, spend it. Spend it any way you mazel tov. Have a great time. Knock yourself out. But I'm saying if you want to make money as a younger age, as a newer investor, you've got to be brutally honest with yourself about what it's going to take. If you only want a couple deals a month, a couple transactions a year, okay, fine. You know, run open houses, buy Facebook ads, buy ads in your local.
You reach Shane Clark.
Shane
Your name
Clark.
and number,
Oh, that's not who I want. That's a wrong number at all.
Please record your message. When you have finished recording, you may hang up or press 1 for more options.
Yeah. So if you only want to do a couple deals a year, then fine. Buy business, wait for it. Go out, send an open house. You're going to be fine. That's all you really want. Then okay. But chances are you're a young man, you're a young woman. You want to do things with your life. You want to accomplish things. You want to go places. You want to see things. You want to experience the best that life can give you. All those things take money. And if you're spending every penny you get, or 46 cents, or 53 cents, or 57 cents out of every dollar you make to make another dollar, how long can you keep that up? How long are you really willing to keep that dog and pony show running before you pull every last one of your hairs out? I was able to do it for a number of years. I had that little dog and pony show, 75 transactions a year. Overhead was over $10,000 a month. Doing all right. But it was stressful, very stressful. Because you're out there buying business, you're out there waiting for it to some degree. It's not predictable. But instead, if you go out and you build your business like a master craftsman would, one brick at a time. One brick at a time. It takes a long time to build something of value. It takes a long time to build something that means something. You have to have patience more than you can imagine.
The call has been forwarded
But the
to
problem
an
with
automated voice
patience
messaging system.
is that by being patient, you can often go broke and have people, banging on your door asking for money. So you have to go find it. You can't wait Because if you're only getting a certain amount of leads, as we said before, and the amount of people you have to push into your funnel to begin with is enormous, that's a lot of people you got to spend money on to get, or you got to wait an awful lot of time for all these people to come, or you've got to work really hard to call a lot of people to find the one or two people that can do something now. Hello, this is Carl. How are you? Miss Cook? Hi, my name's Carl. Is this Miss Cook? Oh, Guadalupe? Hi, my name's Carl. How are you? Is this Jose?
Yeah.
Oh, hi, Jose. Real quick, I bought the property down the street from you at 2639 Warwick Vista. I'm a broker here in town. I just bought that property, and I just want to let you know, I call all the neighbors just to let them know I got some guys out there. It's going to be fixing it up and cleaning it up, making it look good. So if you're out taking a walk in the evening and you see my guys out there working on the house, you'll know what it's all about. That's why I called.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, by the way, since I got you here anyway, do you know anybody else in the neighborhood I ought to talk to who might have an unwanted home? Okay. All right. No problem.
I really don't.
Okay. No problem. Well, listen, Jose, if you see any problems with that property, then don't call the code enforcement people. Just call me and I'll take care of it. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Have a great day. Bye-bye.
You too.
Bye-bye. All right. Okay. All right. Okay. Yeah. Every day you hear no. Every day you hear another no and another no and another no and a no answer and leaving a message. And then you can go for hours on time, hours and hours at a time, and not set a single appointment. It can happen like that until you get a little bit better, until you start calling certain people. The people we're calling now has a little bit of a lower probability to set an appointment. And that's deliberate. I'm calling these people so that you and I can have a conversation about certain things with minimal interruptions. Because you and I both know if I'm calling for sell by owners, it's going to be an entirely different conversation. I mean, the phone's going to be going off every 2 seconds, and we'll be setting appointments perhaps with somebody. We'll call that too. We'll get to that eventually. If not today, then tomorrow. But the point that I guess I'm getting at is that every single day, by you being consistent, and again, like I said, it's not like you're going to jump up one day and do 2 hours a day. Maybe if you just woke up one day and said, you know what, I'm going to do 30 minutes. I'm going to commit to 30 minutes today in the morning, first thing, to prospecting. And then after, 8 to 8:30, and then 8 to 8:30, that's it. And then after that, you go do whatever you want to do. I don't care. However you lead generated before, go do it. I don't care. But if you committed from 8 to 8:30 to prospect, to lead generate, to talk to people, to pre-foreclose, for rentals, whatever they are, if you agreed that in your mind, I'm going to go find somebody out there who needs to sell their property. If you committed to that for half an hour a day, eventually you'd be able to do it. It's all about your discipline. Yesterday when we were talking in the afternoon, we were talking about two kinds of people. That was the one that I'm going to turn into a podcast here next. Talk about two kinds of people. We had mentioned that that the thing oftentimes that stops you is because you just don't know what to say. You're afraid, and you're afraid of the unknown. And if let's just say you built up that discipline to where you would face the unknown for half an hour a day, and you committed to it, and you did it 3 out of 5 days a week.
Call has been forwarded to an automated voice message.
And then the next week you did, 4 out of 5 days that week. The week after that, what do you know? You're doing it every day, 5 days a week, half an hour a day. It's almost like the gym.
You have reached the voicemail box of 520
you'd be shocked.
9771.
You'd be shocked to see what you're capable of if you just put yourself in a position where you're forced to act. That's the problem. You're complacent. You don't have anybody forcing you to act. You don't have anybody with a gun to your head. You don't have any bills pressing you. Oh, yeah, you might have a little bit here or there, but you don't have your back against the wall. If you had your back against the wall, you had no money, you had nothing except time, and you got a choice. You can either go dig a ditch for $15 an hour, or you can sit inside the cool air-conditioned house. Hello?
Please leave your message for...
And you can call expireds and cancels and for sale by owners and all the other people you need to call every day, set appointments and go to their air-conditioned homes and make presentations to them with your skills. That's your choices. But many times we will not exercise that choice because of our fears and our lack of discipline, our reluctance to discipline ourselves. We live in such an undisciplined generation. Everybody's talking about how the Russians and this and the Chinese that. And you know what? I'm going to tell you, God help us if the Russians and the Chinese ever invaded us. I mean, I have a lot of fear about our American male. I have to be honest with you. Just so faithless and so undisciplined. How do you expect to make money if you won't discipline yourself to go look for it? I mean, think about your granddad, your great-granddad, the man before him. Maybe your grandmother, your great-grandmother. So maybe your great-grandmother or your grandmother who went through the Depression. And I don't mean this recession that people had where they lost their homes because they over-leveraged and they had to go back to work and they lost imaginary money in a stock market. And no, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the Great Depression where people lost entire homes, where you had to sell your kids, where you had to move, like the grapes of wrath kind of stuff, right? That's hard times. You could not go to your grandparents and complain about how hard you have it if they survived through the Great Depression. You couldn't do it. You'd have to silence your mouth for shame. Have you ever been in that position where, you're talking about your troubles and all of a sudden you look over and you see somebody who's got something way worse than you and you all of a sudden have that kind of shame, like, oh geez, I shouldn't have said that. Well, that's the way I feel when you're a brand new agent and you're out here saying, well, you're going to take the world on and you're not willing to go work for it, to go put the effort in that it takes to make the money. That's what I hear. If you don't have the discipline to commit yourself to 2 hours a day, if you can't even do 2 hours of solid prospecting per day, you're not a threat to me. That's the way I look at it. You're not a threat to me. Oh, sure. Yeah, you can go advertise. Yeah, I get it. You can go buy services, buy business. I'm okay with that. Go ahead. Yeah, you might sell more homes, might have bigger numbers. Okay, I'm cool with that too. But at the end of the day, let's take a look at that bank account. I'm willing to bet you, I know guys that have millions and millions of dollars in debt in the streets. They owe everybody money. Everybody's looking at them for money. I know guys like that. And on the outside, you'd never tell. I mean, they look like great, high-performing people. But the truth is, nah, underneath all that, it's just dead men's bones, sewers underneath roses. That's all it is. Everybody sees a rose bush on top. What's underneath? Septic tanks. That's what's going on in people's lives. And that's what needs to happen. If you want to change that in your life, if you want to become somebody who's actually committed, somebody who's actually disciplined, then a good place to start is with your prospecting. A good place to start is right there. Go finding it every day. It doesn't matter if it's on the phone. I think it's the best idea on the phone because you're able to call a lot of people.
Hello, this is Jose with J&J.
Oh, you know what? I got the wrong guy. I apologize. I hope you have a great day, okay?
No worries.
Thanks.
You
See
too.
ya.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. All right. So there we go. Yeah, so if you can't discipline yourself to prospect at least 2 hours a day, I don't care who you are. I don't care how many deals you do. You're not living to your full potential. I don't care. Okay, let me repeat it because I know you didn't hear me. I do not care how much money you make. I do not care how much business you bring in. I don't care how many deals you did. I don't care how many homes you flipped last year. If you don't prospect 2 hours a day, if you cannot commit to 2 hours a day of prospecting, you are not living up to your potential.
Hello?
Hi, my name's Carl. I'm not sure if I've got the right person. I was looking for the Mesas. They own some property over there on Winchester Vista. Is that yours?
No.
Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. Okay, do you know anything
That's
about
okay.
do you know anything about that property at 2717 East Winchester Vista? Do you know anything about it?
No, I sure don't.
Oh my gosh, I'm sorry. And do you know anything about the Gilbert Mesas at all, or is that like a strange number, a strange name altogether?
No, yeah, it's strange.
Huh. Okay. Well, geez, I'm sorry. Well, listen, I appreciate your being a good sport about it. I hope you have a great day. Okay. Thank
You
you.
as well. Good
Take
luck.
care.
Bye.
Yes. Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
You. Bye.
Okay. All right. Count that. No. All right. And resume. There we go. Not living up to your potential. So, for example, let's say you do 100 deals a year. You're a big producer. You're a big time guy, gal, whatever. And you're too big to prospect now. You're too good to prospect now.
Please leave your message.
Let's say you've even advanced your career. Let's say that you've got, a call center or a couple guys working for you in the Philippines, making calls for you or whatever, right? Let's say you've outsourced most of your business. You're even doing some virtual marketing and
Please leave your message
virtual wholesaling, right? Let's say you're doing business like that and not only in your market, but other markets across the United States. And you got people from anywhere from the Philippines to Croatia and all parts in between, the VAs working for you, right? Even then, as cut down in cost, as pared down, even though you don't have a bricks and sticks building, even though you don't have real agents in a real office working for you, even if you've got just VAs in the Philippines working for $2.50 an hour, even if you've got signs across the town doing whatever you've got, you're still not living up to your potential if you personally are not committing to making the calls 2 hours a day to your center of influence, to the people who know you, the people who trust you, the people who hired you back in the very beginning when you weren't anything back then. If you committed to taking an hour and a half, 2 hours out of your day in the morning, before it got really busy, before it got really crazy, to call up your center of Valerie?
Arizona Complete Health Stadium can help you.
Oh boy, I got the wrong place. Sorry. I was trying to reach a house.
No worries.
Have a great day.
All right.
Take
No
care.
worries.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Let's see here. Right. There we go. Yeah, I mean, the people who hired you, people who believed in you in the very beginning, if you're not taking the time to call them first thing in the morning and say, hey, it's me. I'm in the business. Just wanted to reach out to you. It's a business call. If you got a minute, cool. Hey, by the way, this is what's going on in the marketplace. The inventory is this. A certain amount of homes sold in the last 24 hours. A certain amount of properties came on the market. This is what this means to you as a homeowner. By the way, do you know anybody else who's got an unwanted home I could help them with or buy? Okay, great. How's your wife? How's your kids? How's your life? I mean, if you took the time, just 2 hours a day out of your day, and I don't care how big you get, you take that time, you commit that time to be that person, your business will exponentially grow beyond your wildest dreams. Hi,
Hello.
Hi, this is Carl. How you doing?
Yes, and who are you?
Oh yeah, my name's Carl. Not sure if I got the place. Is this Greta available?
No, you
Oh,
got the wrong number.
oh boy. Okay, I'm sorry. Well, listen, I was looking for the Jones residence. They own some property over there on Wesleyan Drive. Am I calling the right number?
No, I'm in Sycamore Park.
Huh. Well, isn't that strange? Okay. Well, listen, I apologize. Well, since I got you here anyway, do you know anybody who's got an unwanted house I could buy for cash?
No.
Oh, okay, no problem. Well, I appreciate your time and I hope you have a great day, okay?
Okay, you too. Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Even if you spent an hour and a half to 2 hours a day, okay, in committed lead generation, even if nothing happens, okay, this is the hardest point for people to accept and agree with and understand. Accept, agree with, and understand. Look, 3 separate things have to happen here for you to get this point. You have to accept it, agree with it, and understand it. You have to accept the fact that what I'm telling you is true. You have to agree with the fact that it is true. And you have to also understand why it's true. Okay, what am I saying? If you pay attention to your business, your center of influence, and you commit to 2 hours of prospecting every single day, 5 days at the minimum a week, you do this day in, day out without fail. Okay? Your business will grow beyond what you could ever possibly imagine that it would do. You have to accept that, agree with it, and understand it. Accept that. That's a fact. It's not like I'm making that up. The sun comes up in the east and it sets in the west. I don't have to tell you that more than once. You can watch it. You can see that it happens. Go look, you want real-time proof? Go in your market right now to the people who are doing the business, the movers, the shakers, the people that really do.
You have reached the voicemail box of 5209822.
That really do the business. Okay, I'm not talking about the pretenders. I'm not talking about the guy with the bling and all the fancy cars and all this and all that. No, I'm not talking about him or her. That person's the fraud more often than not. No, what you're looking for is that quiet person. The person who does a lot of business and doesn't really talk a lot about it because they're out there hustling. They ain't got time.
Please leave your message.
They don't have time for all this nonsense that everybody else does. Look, I've seen guys lend money to people by the thousands and the hundreds of thousands only to watch them spend that same money buying them drinks. Cappy?
Dígame.
Oh, hi. ¿Habla inglés?
Who are you looking for?
Oh, my name is Carl. I was looking for Kathy Smith. Have I got the right place?
Unfortunately, wrong number.
Oh my goodness, I'm sorry. Do you know anything about the house on Rocky Desert Trail?
Sir, no information about.
You don't know anything about that? Yeah, that's what I thought. That's okay. I'm not particularly interested in that one anyway. It's a trailer. It's a trailer out in the middle of nowhere. I'm not particularly interested in that, so that's okay. I'll just get rid of that and get rid of that. There we go. Okay. Perfect. So when you go out and you're looking for somebody to model or to get verifiable proof, look for the person who's actually doing the business. So many people pretend that they do their business, but they don't. They have a big name, but what really happens behind the scenes is everybody else makes them look good and they don't do the business at all. What you're looking for is that 1 or 2 persons out there that are actually committed to the business, that do the work, and you want to talk to them and what you Lorenzo?
This is Marissa.
Hi, Marissa. Carl Krenzel. How you doing?
Who is this?
This is Carl Krenzel. I think I have the wrong number. I was looking for the Wolf residence over there on Crow's Nest.
Definitely the wrong number.
Oh gosh. Okay, I'm sorry. Hey, since I got you anyway, do you know anybody who's got an unwanted home that I could buy for cash?
Nope.
Okay, cool. Well, I appreciate your time and I hope you have a great day. Okay.
Thanks, you too.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Let's see. So delete that right there. What you'll discover after you talk to them is that most of their business, a large portion of their business, will come from their center of influence, from the people that they know, like, and trust. All right. How do you apply this to your life? If you're a realtor, a broker, an investor.
Hi, you reached Ben Gomez. Please leave a message.
What you want to do is you want to, there we go. You want to,
Has been forwarded to an automated voice message.
goodness, we're not going to get at this point at all here. You want to compile a list of really the top 100 people that you know, like, and trust. Okay. And if you don't have 100, think about it. I mean, you probably do. All right. I'm not talking about Facebook friends. I'm talking about like real life people. Okay. And then make a list of these people and then start committing to contacting a couple of these people every day. Make it a point to contact these people at least once a quarter, letting them know that, hey, I'm still in the business. Here's what's going on in the market, things of that nature. Because when you start to commit to doing this, okay, even if it's just, like I said, a half an hour a day, and then after you get used to it, bump it up to a full hour. When you get used to that, bump it up to an hour and a half. Pretty soon, you're going to be doing 3-4 hours a day. I know you're going to be finding that hard to believe, but it's true. I mean, I was prospecting 3-4 hours a day back in the heyday, right? From 8 to noon. Didn't mind it at all. Stand the whole time, right? Problem is I'd run out of numbers. Hello?
Hello.
Hi, this is Carl Krenzel. How you doing?
How can I help you?
Yes, I was calling about your house on Bittercrest. Have you considered selling it?
What about it?
Yes. Have you considered selling it?
What is wrong with the house?
Nothing's wrong with it. Have you considered selling it? I was just calling to see if you'd ever considered selling it. Oh, see, I'll tell you what's wrong with it. You are about $180,000 over value, and you are going into foreclosure in about 3 weeks. I think that's probably the problem, if I had to guess, but I'm not necessarily always right. I could be wrong. There we go. So as you commit to doing this, okay, you're going to discover that, calling a couple of your centers of influence is going to warm you up. Yeah, you call 2, 3, 4 of your centers of influence, you're gonna be like, you know what? I got this. I'm going to call for sell by owner, or I'm going to call expired, or maybe I'm going to call for rent by owner, because you kind of get the feeling. And now, you're going to jump into it. Now, if you take a hit, they say something crass to you or wrong or mean, you might get punched in the nose. You're like, and then you're going to have to, retreat back, lick your wounds, learn how to handle that objection, come back swinging the next day. But the problem is that most people
520
let's see here.
889 8056.
Most people never see beyond the first hour. Most people don't see beyond the first hour. I mean, as I look at this recording, right, as I switch back over here to the control room on YouTube just to see who, in fact, if anybody's watching. Yeah, nobody's watching. It's an hour and 53 minutes into this. I don't expect anybody's going to be watching. I mean, who's going to be watching me an hour and 53 minutes into prospecting when they got things to do and appointments they got to do? I mean, they're probably going to listen to this on a podcast. That's what I would do. But when you think about it, as you've listened to this podcast, or as have you watched it on YouTube or heard me through these endless days prospecting, most people can't get past that first hour. It's too boring. It's too hard. Not exciting. Somebody comes along and they have coffee. Let's go get some Starbucks. And all of a sudden we're distracted. It happens to the best of us. We can't help ourselves. Why does this happen? Because it's easier for us to buy business. It's easier for us to wait for business. It is hard for us to go out and find it every day because you may not find it. Hey, surprise. Those people on Facebook that keep telling you that they got deals left and right and they're doing this and they're doing that and it all looks great. Guess what? It's a lie. It's all. Hi, this is Carl. How you doing?
May I ask who's calling?
Yeah, my name's Carl. I might actually have the wrong number. I apologize. I was looking for the Kemps. They own some property over there on Eli Street. Is that your property?
I think you have the wrong number.
Huh. Okay. Do you know anything about 8021 Eli Street? Do you know anything about that house at all? I was trying to buy that property. Do you know anything about that? Tell you, these pre-foreclosure folks are not too interested in talking today. Yeah, so it's difficult because it requires stamina from you. It requires patience from you. And if you've been watching these videos or listening to this, you've heard the endless no's and all this stuff. And you can think to yourself, well, gosh, this is not worth my time. This is not worth my energy. But I'm here to tell you that you keep paying attention. Okay? Mark my words. This is June 20th, 2019. By June, July, August, 3 months from now, 90 days of doing this, I want you to go back. Okay, if the greetings, let's just say greetings to the people from the future, right? I'm going to take a moment right now to give a special shout out.
Hello.
Hi, this is Carl. How you doing? Miss Jacob? So a special shout out to the people who are visiting this podcast from August 20th, 2019, 3 months in the future. Okay. Special shout out to you for coming back in time and listening to this podcast 3 months later, because you heard it here first when I'm telling you that these things happen in 90-day cycles. Okay. If you got into real estate thinking that you're going to get a deal in 30 days and that it's going to be money and cars and freedom and you're going to have the life of your dreams in 30 days or less, I got some bad news. Probably not going to happen. Unless you luck into something, it's probably not going to happen the way you want it to. Instead, you're probably going to spend a lot of money and get very little return. And then you're going to be like, oh gosh, now what do I do? Because I have no money, I'm broke, and I need to find a deal because I quit my job. You can either buy a business, you can wait for business, or you can go find it every day. That's your choices. And if you're, watching this video from 3 months ago or listening to the podcast, then you're going to see in August the results from the prospecting that we're doing today. That's the way it works. It works in 90-day cycles. Everything you do today is for 90 days from now. It's not for today. The prospecting you do today is not so you can make money today. This is so you can identify the possible leads. This is so you can identify who potentially you can sell the property with or buy a property with or whatever 2-3 months from now. If it's a wholesale deal, yes, the timeline's a lot shorter, but you're not going to find the wholesale deal unless you're out looking for them. It's critically important that you understand that finding it every day requires an exercise on your part. It requires an impetus on your part. It requires a motion from you. And that motion doesn't always pan out the first minute. It takes time. And 90 days from now is when you're going to start to see these deals close. You're going to find me start to pick up a listing here or there from a guy I talked to a month ago or made a presentation to, or you're going to find this deal, getting under contract, or this person decided to wholesale or whatever. These leads stack up. Right. And every day that you're sitting there making these prospecting calls, and these people say, well, yeah, I'm interested in selling in a year. Would you send me a market analysis? Or here's my email address. Give me a call back in 3. Maria? All these potential things that you could do all began because you took the active role in finding business, in finding a lead, in finding a prospect, in finding somebody who was willing to listen to what you had to say. But if you're sitting in your office, if you're sitting behind your desk and you're, trying to figure out what ad campaign you're going to run, or what mailer you're going to put together, or what kind of, open house strategy you're going to do, well, guess what? You're going to have an infinitely harder time attracting the business you want to attract, because you cannot control any of that. You can control where you call, who you call, what kind of business you look for. I mean, the people we're calling right now, I'm calling people who are looking for wholesale real estate deals for leads. I'm looking for people who want to sell their home right now without listing it. That's who I'm looking for. Okay, so I don't care if a person doesn't want to hear me, or doesn't want me to call back, or doesn't want this, or I don't care about any of that. Why? Because I only want one thing. My thing, I want to find that one person who has a problem property, who has a headache because I got Advil in my pockets. Nasser El Arabi told me that one. God bless his heart for telling me that one, because it's the truth. I'm looking for that seller who's got a problem property because I got Advil in my pocket, and bless God, I can help you. So it's easy for me mentally to make that shift, because now I'm not competing with anybody. I'm not trying to outdo anybody. No. What am I trying to do? I'm simply trying to find the best person right now who's looking to buy or sell some real estate. And I recognize implicitly that I'm going to have to go through hundreds and hundreds of people to do this. I'm prepared for that. What else am I going to do? It's 110 degrees. What am I going to do? Am I going to knock on doors? Am I going to spend money on a campaign, on a pay-per-click ad? No. I mean, I could, of course. But I'm not prepared to spend that kind of money. I'm cheap, man. I like to try and call people and generate business, because if all it costs me is a telephone call, the upside is enormous. Now, you might be saying to yourself, well, gosh, Carl, you got to pay for the TheRedX every month and this service. Well, that's true. I got to pay for that. But on the other hand, okay, if I get this transaction, the rate of in return on that versus the amount of money I spent per month is extraordinary. You get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 or more lists. I mean, good Lord, how many listings or how many sales do you have to take when you're making several $1,000s at a crack in order for a service to make sense? I mean, that doesn't. I'm not saying that you got to go out and crack an egg to make an omelet, but what I am saying is, as far as prospecting is concerned, that's probably your least expensive with a high. Hi, Mario.
Hi.
Mario?
What?
Hi. Is this Mario?
Oh.
Mario?
No.
Oh, no. I might have the wrong place. My name's Carl. I was looking for the Hinostros. Have I got the right address?
No.
Oh, no. Okay. Do you know anything about that house over there, 1811 West Oakview?
In Tucson?
Yes, ma'am. I'm sorry.
No, I'm in Wyoming.
Well, gosh, I'm sorry. Okay, yeah, I just noticed you had a Tucson number, and sometimes people. Okay. No, well, no worries. And you said you do you know anything about that house or no?
What street?
On Oakview, 1811 West Oakview Lane. Do you know anything about that house?
No, I sure don't.
Oh gosh. Okay, I got the wrong number. I apologize. Well, since I hope you have a great day out there in Wyoming. Okay.
All right, you too.
Take care. Bye bye.
Take care.
Bye
Bye-bye.
bye. So, your stamina obviously will build up over time. Okay, your throat, your voice, your sternocleidomastoid, your muscles here, they all have to develop in order for you to talk this length of time. You might think that it comes very easily to talk for 2 or 3 hours at a time, and that is not the case at all. It is not easy for a person to talk for 2 or 3 hours at a time. So you want to make sure that you take care of yourself, take care of your body. Okay, like we talked about yesterday, this is like a marathon, like a marathon runner. A marathon runner prepares for a race. All right. They don't just start running the day before. No, they run for miles and miles and miles and miles to prepare for a 26-mile race. And just like you need to treat your body and your voice and your routine like an Olympic runner would. Right? You get up at a certain time, you eat certain foods, you avoid certain activities, you don't smoke. Right? Smoking makes it really difficult for your throat. You try to avoid sugary drinks, and I admit that's my downfall. Like Dr. Pepper, kind of makes it tough for your throat to work. You want to drink water, and maybe you want to eat light fruits, perhaps. Before you prospect. You don't want to get a heavy breakfast in. I mean, you want to have something light on your stomach so you can be thinking and your mind, your body isn't really trying to digest all that heavy food. You want to put some real thought into your prospecting. Treat it like a marathon runner would, right? Condition yourself, discipline yourself. Treat it like any other thing you would do. Okay. And you would be shocked to see the kind of results you get. You're saying, okay, fine, Carl, I don't want to call expireds. I don't want to call listings. I don't want to call pre-foreclosures. Fine. Call your center of influence. Because if you're not going to call your center of influence, well, who do you think I'm calling right now? Honestly, if you're in Tucson, okay, if you're in Tucson and you're a real estate investor or you're a real estate broker watching this, and I know a couple of you are real estate brokers that watch this, and I'm grateful that you watch. If you're a real estate investor here in Tucson, I'm grateful that you watch. Feel free to bring your deals to me. I'm happy to to help you with your rehab and get that transaction done, get you paid. I've got all the connections you need, so feel free to bring them to me. But realistically speaking, how are you going to tell me that you don't want to call anybody? You don't want to call for sale by owners. You don't want to call expireds. You don't want to call cancels. You don't want to call pre-foreclosures. You don't want to call for rent by owners. You don't want to get the no's told at you. I'm telling you, call your center of influence. Because if you don't, well, who do you think I'm calling here in Tucson, Arizona? Who do you think I'm calling?
Please leave your message for
This person right here that I'm leaving a message with, the Hortons over here on Carnaba Street. Is that your center of influence? Did you sell them that house? Somebody sold them that house 4, 5, 6 years ago. Some agent sold them that house. How about this guy, Melanie Carter, or this lady, Melanie Carter on Vereda de la Tierra? What about her? Somebody sold her that house.
Call has been forwarded to an automatic voice message.
Who's calling them? Me. I'm leaving a message right there on Melanie's number. If you're in Tucson, Arizona, and you're not calling your centers of influence, then there's agents like me who are. There's realtors, there's investors out there calling your center.
Hi, this is Kate.
That's calling your center of influence. You've heard me call these for rent by owners, and they're like, yeah, everybody keeps calling us. And well, do you have a for rent by owner? I'm sorry, do you have an owner where you live, one of these past clients who has a home that they've rented out? I do. Has that tenant moved out and now they rent it out again? Who's calling that tenant? Are you? I'm sorry, who's calling that owner? Are you? Are you calling your past clients? Because if you're not, some dude like me in your marketplace is. It's the height of arrogance. Really, it's the height of arrogance. To think that you can go your entire career, build up a database of people and not call them and then expect that they're going to send you business. That's just arrogant. What have you done to complete?
Please leave your message.
What have you done to complete that relationship? Not sure why that guy keeps coming up, but when you think about it, okay, it's foolish to think that a center of influence, a past client, somebody you've done business with in the past, somebody you put into a home, they're going to remember you for years on end. And then when the time comes, they're going to turn around and call you. This is foolish. Why is it foolish? Okay, I'll tell you why it's foolish. Let's just think about your last transaction. Maybe the transaction before that. This year, here we are, June. Have you had a transaction at all that went sideways? Got a little screwy? Closing got kind of messed up at the end, perhaps? You were hesitant to call them because you're like, oh gosh, if I call these people, they're going to yell at me. The deal didn't really go through well, and I'm kind of hesitant to call. So you don't call them. Now, you got your check. They got the keys. It is what it is. Time goes by. You look at them in your database. You see them there. You're like, oh, I wonder how they're doing. Maybe I'll call them. But somebody says, hey, let's go to Starbucks, and you go. 6 months later, you think about it, but, something else comes up. Wasn't business related. It was probably you went to a meeting. Companies are good at that, throwing meetings, right? So whatever the cause, now you got somebody like me calling them. Hey, I understand your property's for rent. Have you ever considered selling? Well, actually, as a matter of fact, we have. Oh, no kidding. How long you owned it? Well, we owned it for a couple of years. Oh, no kidding. Who sold it? Oh, we haven't talked to that agent in a long time. You've heard that at least 100 times. I mean, if you haven't heard it, then listen on this podcast. In the last couple of episodes, you'll hear it at least once or twice where somebody said, I bought it from the agent, but I didn't really hear from him again.
The person you have called is currently not available.
It's because agents, we don't keep up with our clients. We don't keep in touch with them. Why in the world would we do that? No, we made our money already. We keep trucking. That's what people do. I'm saying if you commit to early in your career building a habit of prospecting daily for 2 hours a day, calling your center of influence, then you can immunize yourself from people like me. Do you think, okay, look, I'm going to be honest. I am not a good agent. I'm not a super good agent. I'm just, I'm okay, right? I'm not saying this to toot my own horn, but do you think that I'm a better agent than you? Do you think I'm a better prospector than you? Do you think that I'm the kind of person that if I was in your marketplace prospecting and calling your people, that it could be a potential issue? Maybe you do. Maybe you don't. I don't know. But one thing is for certain. There is someone in your marketplace just like me. And they're calling your center of influence even as we speak. And if you refuse to call your center of influence, then the only voice they'll hear is mine.
I'm sorry, this mailbox has not yet been set up by the subscriber. Please.
If you don't set up that relationship, the only story they're going to hear is the one I tell them. The only facts they're going to know about the market are the facts I give them. You cannot trust another person in your marketplace because you don't know what kind of information they're going to give them or what kind of spiel they're going to say.
Hello, we are not available now. Please leave your name and phone number.
The only insurance you really have against something like that or somebody like me is to contact your center of influence on the regular. Give them
Call has been forwarded to an automated voice messaging.
Give them information. Let them know what's going on in the marketplace. Communicate with them regularly. And it even happens when we're talking about your listing or your initial contract. I mean, when you get them under contract, regardless if it's a listing or a wholesale, you want to keep in contact with these people. You want to contact them. You want to call them. You want to talk to them. You want to email them. You want to text them. You want to over communicate with people. Why? Because it's insurance. Are you tired of having your deals fall apart at the last second? Are you sick and tired of having people move in at the last second and buy couches right before they're supposed to close, crashing your deal? I mean, if you're sick of these,
Call has been forwarded to an automated voice message.
If you're sick of these dumb things affecting your closings, okay, well then let's do something about it. Why don't we communicate to our customers prior to the closing or prior to this time and say, hey, look, these are some of the things I've seen other people do. You might want to be aware. Don't do that. Hey, by the way, here's a thing I've learned, blah, 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 blah. Do this. Don't do that. Hey, it's me again. I sold you the house a couple years back. Just wanted to reach out to you, let you know I was thinking about you. Here's what the market's doing. Here's what it means for you. How's your life? How's your wife? How's your kids?
Hi, this is Alexia. Leave a message and I'll get back to you next.
I mean, if you don't call all the for sale by owners, you don't call the expires, you don't call the pre-foreclosures, I get it. Not everybody's in for that, and I'm understanding it, but I cannot understand for the life of me why you refuse to call your center of influence. Those are people who know you, who like you, and trust you. Why on earth would you refuse to call them?
Hello?
Hi, Denise.
Hello?
Hi, is this Denise?
No, you've got a wrong number. You call me all the time.
Oh no.
Yes.
Okay. Do you know, my name's Carl. Do you know anything about that house on Castle Pines, 6477?
No, I don't.
Oh boy.
No, I don't.
And you don't know anything about the Denise Tejas,
No, I don't know anything, honey.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you so much. I hope you have a great day. Sorry for the wrong number.
Bye.
Bye-bye. She sounded kind of like somebody's grandmother. Really, God bless.
Call has been forwarded to an automatic voice.
Yeah. So, so the reason why you won't call them is because you're afraid. It just makes no sense to me. If you really cared about your clients, if you really care about your customers, like you say you do, everybody talks a good game. We provide stellar service. We provide a bespoke experience. I mean, whatever your thing is that you say, right? Is it true or is it just what you say? More often than not, it's just what you say because your actions show what you believe. If you truly believed that this was a bespoke experience, that this was something that was truly a different experience, that was going to be notable, it was going to be helpful for them, then you would give them the experience that they desire, that they require, that they deserve. But no, that's not how we do it at all. We list the property, put it under contract, we open escrow, we barely give them any information, and we yell when it doesn't close.
Hi, this is Les Roberts with 32 North Entertainment. Please leave a message and I'll get back with you as soon as possible. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah, that's the way we do things. We can't even help ourselves. Buying business, waiting for business, going out and for looking at it. That's your choice. Which one are you going to do? A lot of people choose a little bit of both, a little bit of everything. I get it. But if you want to maximize your production, if you want to maximize the output of what you can get, then may I suggest you take some aggressive steps and go find it every day. Because aggression is what's needed in the marketplace today. I am a firm believer that aggression is what is needed in the marketplace. What we need is we need people who are willing to stand up, go out into the marketplace and say, okay, this is what we can do to help you. This is what's going to be helpful. And these are the options you have. Instead of having people just go to the market, provide options that are not helpful to the customer, force them into situations, and then ultimately have them be hurt in the process. Maybe I am entirely alone in my quest on this podcast. Maybe I am 100% wrong on my Sell More Homes Now YouTube channel. But I am 100% convinced deep inside my soul that there are realtors in this marketplace, that there are realtors in this game that care about the customers, that care about the clients, that want the best for them. And that if it should happen, that they come across an investment deal or a homeowner that doesn't want to list, that they are in the best position to help them. You can provide more options.
Hello?
Hi, this is Carl. How you doing? Is this,
Good.
yeah, is this John?
No, this is Gabriel from Short
Gosh. Okay, I might have the wrong number. I apologize. My name's Carl Krenzel. I'm actually looking for the Caverleys. They own some property over there on Elm Street. Is that your property, sir?
No, it's not.
Oh
You got the wrong number.
Oh my gosh. Okay, do you know anything about them or that property at all?
No, I do not.
Huh. Okay, no worries. Well, listen, I appreciate your time. Since I got you anyway, do you know anybody here in the Tucson area who's got an unwanted home that I could buy for cash?
No, I do not.
Okay, cool. Well, listen, I appreciate you taking the time, and I hope you have a wonderful day anyway, okay? Thank you. All right. There we go. I just have to believe. I mean, look, if you're an investor, if you're a wholesaler, you're unlicensed, fine. I mean, I don't have any grudges against you. Don't misunderstand. I just think personally that realtors have a lot more to offer many times, especially if you're a realtor who invests. And I have to believe that there are people out there listening to this podcast, watching this video, reading my books, listening to my premium podcast, doing what, and thinking to themselves, you know what? Finally, I'm not alone. You know, there's somebody else out there like me who wants the best for your clients, who wants the best for your customers, and is sick to death of watching them get hoodwinked, run amok, lied to from people in the business. And I feel like it's our job to go into the marketplace, take an active role, and share with the public the reasons why they should do business with us, why they should choose to use you to help them with their real estate problems. Now, look, admittedly, calling people has its place, but it doesn't mean you can't text people. Doesn't mean you can't go out and Snapchat people. Doesn't mean you can't go DM somebody in their Instagram account. You know, you'd be so shocked to hear what I heard the other day. I was talking to this friend of mine from church, happens to be 84 years old. This guy, love him to death, good man. Telling me, asking me if I'm on the social media stuff. He's 84 years old. He says, "Are you on that social media stuff?" I said, "Well, yes, I sure am." I said, he says, "You got that Facebook stuff?" I said, "Yeah, I got Facebook." He says, "You got YouTube?" "Oh, yes, sir, I got YouTube too." He says, "Yeah, I just," and he's a little bit of a pride to him. He says, "Yeah, I just started with Snapchat myself." I said, "You started with Snapchat?" He said, "Yeah." He's 84 years old. And I guess his students, had tuned him into it. Because that's the only way they communicate these days. Because that's the only way these kids communicate these days. They don't even respond to a text. He says, I text them something, and they may not respond. It might take a couple minutes, if at all.
The call has been forwarded to an automated voice messaging system.
But he said, if I Snapchat them something, they'll respond in a second or two, and I'll have a photograph to go with it. Times are changing. I accept that. However, it doesn't mean, okay, the telephone prospecting and texting and Snapchatting and active prospecting is something that's going to go by the wayside. It just means the form of communication is going to change. That's all it means. For an investor, for a realtor, what this means to you is you need to be willing to adopt and change the method of communication that people are using. But also you have to understand that the active methods that you're trying to use to find people. Hi, Nicole.
No, I have the wrong number.
Oh, gosh. I was looking for the owners at 1931 West Southbrook Circle. She hung up on me. So, the people that you're talking to are going to change their mode of talking. 5, 10, 15 years from now, maybe it's going to be Snapchat or some other format. I have no idea. But for today, your ability to contact as many people as possible is not limited. You might as well go through the door while the door is open, right? People are saying, well, the door on prospecting and the door on telephone prospecting is closing. The time for that is closing. Well, perhaps, but the door's not closed yet. And it's probably not going to be closed for the foreseeable future. So long as there's going to be for sale by owners out there trying to sell their home, they're going to put a phone number out there. So long as you've got people having for rent by owner, they're going to put their home for rent out there with a phone number. They're not going to be accepting anonymous Snapchats and Facebook messages from somebody that they don't know. Oh, sure, they'll advertise them there and all that. But to get a hold of somebody, to talk to somebody, you're going to have to physically talk to them. You're going to have to talk to them at face-to-face or over the phone. And if you're buying business, you have to spend a lot of money to get enough leads so you can practice, so you can be good, because you're going to lose out, right? If you're waiting for business, it's going to take you an awful lot of time to get the amount of business to come through so you can practice and be good. Or you can physically go out into the marketplace, search for the business that you need to find, struggle through it. Yes, you're going to lose. Yes, it's going to be painful. Yes, it's going to be hard. But you struggle through it. You'll make your breakthrough. You'll learn where you're good. You'll learn where you're not so good. You'll learn where you need to improve, where things are okay. And what you'll discover is momentum over time. Within 90 days, you're going to start to find that things are coming your way. It's going to take a little bit of time to kind of get things pushing. It's like pumping that well. But when the water starts coming, brother, it's time to enjoy the well. That's what you're doing here when you're prospecting. You're pumping every day, you're working, you're building that momentum, and every now and again, poop, out comes one. And then poop, out comes another. And then poop, out comes another. And the next thing you know, you got fish everywhere and things are going great. And then what happens? You stop prospecting. You get too busy, right? You got all these deals going, and then you start dealing with the sellers and the buyers, and you forget to prospect. And then you start from zero again. And that's where all this feast and famine stuff comes from. If you really want to get some consistency in your business, if you really want to have stability in your business, prospect every single day. That's why I was telling you, prospect first thing in the morning for 2 hours in the morning, because it gets it out of the way. It's just like going to the gym. Maybe you didn't like to go to the gym as a child. Maybe, that's just not your thing, working out. But when you do it first, you get it out of the way, the rest of the day will take care of itself. That's the way real estate goes. If you spend the time to get up every day, start calling your centers of influence, call them, and then, that's to immunize yourself against people like me in your business, to make sure people like me don't come in and steal the business you have, right? Because trust me, I'll steal your business. I'll take your business fast. Okay. Only one of us can win. All right. I'm a Christian. Don't get me wrong. And I'll pray for you, but I'm also competitive. And bless God, if we're in a competitive situation, okay, I'm going to do what I can do to show that seller why they're foolish if they list with you. or if they sign their contract with you. It's foolishness. I'm going to do that. And how many times can you afford to have somebody who's the Usain Bolt marathon runner guy, who's got all the bells and whistles, who's got all the programs, all the assistance, all the transaction, all the money, all the signs, all the advantages? How are you going to compete against that guy if you can't even commit to get on the track for 2 hours a day? Claudia. Okay, so boom, there we go. Yeah, if you won't even get on the track 2 hours a day, how are you going to compete with that guy who's, running full steam, full speed all the time? You can't, because then he's going to start taking business from you. His people will start calling your people. The only way you're going to immunize yourself, call your people first. And once you called your people, look around for the low-hanging fruit. Look around for the low-hanging fruit. Man, when I was a kid, we had a peach tree where I grew up. The peaches would fall out of the tree. We'd have to go pick up the peaches out of the ground before we did the lawnmower, because the lawnmower would pick up the peach pits and throw them everywhere, break windows and stuff. So you got to go pick up the low-hanging fruit, the stuff that you'd hit with your head. It would fall on the ground. You got to pick all that stuff up because it caused a mess. Well, guess what? Real estate's similar to that. There's some low-hanging fruit in the for sale by owners. There's some low-hanging fruit in the expireds. There's people there right now who are going to list within 3 days. They just came off the market. They're looking for a new realtor. They're looking for a contract. They're looking for somebody to buy their home. Maybe that last wholesaler fell through and canceled the deal in their home. They're trying to sell it again. They're calling you back. Whatever the situation is, it's low-hanging fruit. Make a couple calls. See if you can pick up some of that low-hanging fruit. I mean, what's the worst that could happen? They tell you no. Okay, great. And maybe you decide to be a little bit more proactive about the listings you do have. Maybe you decide to make some just sold calls, leave some messages. People are going to call you back in the afternoon. Hey, dude, I noticed you called. What's up? Yeah, man, appreciate you calling me back. Noticed you had this house over here on Umpty Street. Listen, if you're using the Vortex system, when they call you back or they text you back, you got their phone number. You can cross-reference it, look it up, so you'll know exactly who you called and why. And you can text them back, say, yeah, I called you about that house on Umpty Street because it's for rent by owner. Did you ever consider selling it? Yes, no, maybe so. And there you go. This is the entire system of how you got to build your business to be replicatable, duplicatable, and sustainable for yourself. Is early prospecting in the morning, by developing that habit, by developing that discipline, by willing to go out and take the steps you need to take to call people, to leave messages, to then in the afternoon engage these people. That's what's going to give you the ability to make the deals you want to make. Because as I said, you can either buy business, wait for business, or go find it. And if you're trying to find it, it's going to take time. Fortunately, if you're new, you got all the time in the world. You got plenty of time. Fortunately, that's all the time that you need. And unfortunately, this is all the time we have. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to end our prospecting session today right here. Let's see here. Let's go ahead and end our session right here. So today, let's take a look at the Storm Dialer's pulse system here. We should be able to discover how many contacts we made, messages, etc. that we left. And then what I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take this, download this as a podcast, and then I'm also going to find that one I had done yesterday, download that as well so you can hear that evening session as well where we talked about two kinds of people. I'm going to download them both. I'm going to put them out there for you to go ahead and listen to in between appointments. And I've got a couple of appointments this afternoon myself that I've got to follow up with. So what we've got here so far, let's see. So we've got 44 contacts, no appointments. We did have one listed. We have one sold. So let's see. What have we got so far? So for June 20th, today, We had 219 leads. We made 336 calls. We made 44 contacts. We have 13 voicemails. We had one listed property and one sold property so far. So far it's so good. Yeah. Let's take a look at the month. Let's take a look at real quickly last month. Let's just see what that looked like. The good thing about the Vortex system along with the TheRedX is that it enables you to keep track of your numbers. And that's helpful for you in the sense that you're able to see if you're getting any better, to see if you have any kind of improvement and where you can get better. So for example, last month we can see that in May, we made 171 contacts. We got 6 appointments, 4 of which I canceled for one reason or another. It looks like I went on 2 and got 1 listing out of that. And then we had 1 sale. So that we'll see progressively as that goes along with the TheRedX. We'll be able to see how we're getting the business and getting the deals out of the calling. So you can see we've already got 1 sale and we got 1 listing already out of it. And we've been, a couple hundred calls, couple hundred contacts. So it's a good return. So anyway, guys, thank you so much. I appreciate your paying attention to this. Again, if you'd like, feel free to go ahead and check out us at theredpillinvestor.com, where I'm going to have this downloaded as well as the one from yesterday. So if you'll be patient with me, I'm going to go get a Dr. Pepper. I'll come right back, turn this into a podcast so you guys can tune in and listen. I really appreciate your paying attention. And as always, I hope you have a powerful sales day. Bye-bye.